Hi, I'm Laverne, Amex Entertainment Insider, and I'm here at the Festival Village at London's South Bank Centre for a sneak peek behind the scenes at a new exhibition. It's a free one, and it's called The Art of Frankenweenie, which takes a look behind the scenes at Tim Burton's incredible new film, Frankenweenie, which is in the pictures at the moment. The Art of Frankenweenie exhibition runs from the 17th to 21st of October and is free to the public, but if you can't get down there, I've got a sneak peek of the best bits for you. The exhibition captures the magic of the filmmaking process and gives audiences an exclusive glimpse into the stop-motion animation process. The film's producer, Alison Abate, told me more. Frankenweenie was the first animated black and white film ever made this way, right?
Yes, it was indeed.
Was that a bit of a risky decision to take in the first place?
There was never an option to not make it in black and white, so I think from the very beginning we kind of embraced the black and white and knew that that was kind of the task at hand. So maybe it was risky, but it sounded exciting to all of us. And it kind of was a nice homage to the old movies that inspired him to become a filmmaker.
And it's full of kind of references to other great films that are either inspired by the genre or part of it. Can you give us a few to look out for?
We have some bouncing sea monkeys that are a little bit like the Gremlins, and the character of Mr. Rajkruski, the inspiring science teacher, sort of loosely based on Vincent Price, and Nasser's like on Boris Karloff, so also just kind of homages even to the men who made those movies great.
I heard a great story about the animators actually loading the puppets into the boot of their car to drive them to Tim Burton's house, to kind of like say, you know, well, this is where we've got to with Victor or whatever.
Absolutely. We would say, we need to see what that looks like, I can't really tell. The next day, they were, you know, beep, 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 you know, open the gate, they're here, and literally the boot of their car was full with sculpts and fabric swatches and design ideas and little sculpts. So, yeah, they are amazing and always up for a road trip, happily.
You see that world kind of coming to life here at the exhibition. There's a lot of detail. I know that, for example, at the classroom, the equations on the board in the background of the film are real equations,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. We tried to make, because we knew that the science of bringing an animal back from the dead was a bit dubious, and we didn't want any kids to try that at home. We were still cognizant of the fact that we needed to keep the whole idea of science and the kind of the integrity of what he was teaching them kind of pure.
Do you have a favourite exhibit here today, a favourite part of the exhibition?
I love all of the parts of the exhibition because each set represents like a big memory for me of that scene and what it took to animate on that, because these are all real sets that were used in the movie. But I have to say that one of the things I love the most is the desk of Tim Burton, because I think for people it's just really hard to wrap their heads around everything that goes into a puppet and goes into creating one of these puppets, and to see the drawings that Tim did, the different sculpts that the McKinnon and Saunders sculptors did to kind of try and find that personality of Sparky in a 3D, you know, plasticine sculpture. It's just great to see it all in one place, and you can go, wow, really, I see how everything is connected to the final puppets.
And finish this sentence for me, if you would. You'd never guess this about Frankenweenie, but...
But it is actually, a lot of it is based on Tim Burton's real life. So if you look through the movie, the town that they live in is very similar to the town that he grew up in. And he also had a dog that he sort of tragically lost at that very same age. So it's just interesting to sort of get, for me it was fun to get an insight into him as a young kid. So I feel like I got to know Tim better by watching this movie.
I also caught up with filmmakers Ian McKinnon and Pete Saunders to find out more. Okay, you guys created the puppets, some of which we can see here, for Frankenweenie. How many would you say you had to make for the film as a whole?
For the film as a whole, there was over 200 puppets made, and they sort of, you know, I think there was 14 duplicates of Victor, I think probably 16 duplicates of Sparky. You know, it takes a big team of people to create that number of puppets.
Frankenweenie first came to life in 1984. So in this new version, this new expanded version, what elements of the original Frankenweenie have stayed, and what's been brought to it?
Much of the original film is still there. The heart of the story is the same for the animated version.
When we first met Tim to talk about this project, we asked him, you know, why do you want to revisit it as a feature film? And one of the things he said was he wanted to get a better performance from the dog, because that was kind of very key to the drama of the story.
Have you got a favourite puppet out of the cast for this film?
Well, I think mine is Sparky himself. When we saw the rushes of Sparky bounding around the sets and putting in this incredible performance, you know, second only to Toto, I think, from They're the Wizard of Oz. You think, well, we've done our job well if that's what they're getting out of it. There's some magic has occurred, and I think Sparky kind of is imbued with that magic.
I also had the chance to chat to Trey Thomas, animation director. Which of the puppets was the most challenging to animate?
Well, the turtle monster, just because of his size. He was huge. He was just hard to manage. He, needed this excessive rigging just to lift his weight because it was a monstrous puppet that big. And so I'd say that he created the most challenges to just try to fit him in those sets because he was so huge.
With stop motion, you know that every frame that you watch on screen has got a lot of hours of work that gone into it. I mean, how long a process has this film been for you?
Well, I was on it for 2.5 years. With a team of 30 animators, we only managed to get 30 seconds of final film per week. And so it was an amazingly long process.
Mr. Whiskers had a dream about you last night.
How do you know?
'Cause this morning, he made this.
Oh. Did you get that out of the litter box?
It's an